Hello everyone and welcome back to Fallout Wasteland Warfare. I apologise for this being a little bit late, but this is going to be a little side adventure, a Halloween special, which is not canon within the context of our season so far. So we're not doing the settlement mode stuff. This is purely for fun, and it's going to be called something along the lines of Halloween with Frank, because Frank Horrigan, the final boss of Fallout 2, is here. It's a fantastic miniature, and he's going to stomp all over my survivors probably because he's super powerful. He's a legendary unit. We'll go over what that means in a second, but I guess you can sort of contextualize this as after returning from a successful mission last time, the sole survivor loner is sleeping and he has a nightmare about being tracked down by a killing machine from the Enclave, whichever. Either way, I apologise for this not being up in time for Halloween. I hurt my neck, which unfortunately interrupted recording time. It's getting better now though, so here we are. Let's have some fun and just do a nice little what if. So this is how Frank is set up. He's got his plasma gun and his unique knife, and they are very scary. He has a bunch of special rules, and specifically he is a legendary unit. If you want to bring them, they have multiple forms. If you want to bring them in like a normal match, people making two teams, throwing them against each other, and you have to pay for each form. We're going to just run it that he keeps on changing, so it's very unlikely this will happen, incidentally, especially because his default form has 6 armor, which means he basically has 2 ablative armor, because the armor dice doesn't have higher than a 4 on it, so that's just to cover 2 bits of armor break for free. But he's a very scary gentleman. He's only got 5 health in his first form, but he's very armoured. You kill that, he becomes Frank Horrigan 2, which has 6 health. His stats change, his special rules change. We'll cover that if it happens. Although in every form he does generate crits, and he can use luck, although I'll probably forget the luck, but he'll generate crits on hits. And then there's also Frank Horrigan 3, where he only has 4 health, less armour, but he starts fighting more viciously. So I don't know if we'll see Phase 3, but that's how legendary units work. He's very scary, and the survivors probably won't have a chance, even though they're going to get loads of turns to shoot him, whereas he only gets the 1. Well, to potentially shoot twice, of course. So from the end of turn 1, we're going to have a little bit of help. If we come over here briefly, up there in the watchtower, again just to show off a miniature that's been painted, hopefully in focus now, it is the courier. So the courier from turn 2 is going to fire once a turn. This is his stat card, although it only really matters for his shooting because he's just going to be helping. He is using an anti-material rifle, which has a chance of actually hurting Frank. We'll see if it matters, but he's only going to fire once a turn, and if he's the sole survivor, ironically, that counts as Frank winning as well. So our band of survivors is exactly as you saw in the last episode, although again there's no permeance here, this is just for fun. They are facing down Frank over there. So the sole survivor with a 10mm pistol, hunting rifle, machete. We have Pennyworth, the Mr. Handy with just the default Mr. Handy weapons. We have our new free tech who has a combat shotgun and a pipe wrench currently, although the pipe wrench might end up going away. We have a scavenger with a pipe pistol and a pipe wrench, and then the settler with a bolt action pipe rifle and also a pipe wrench, and then Dogmeat Scout with his bite. They're going to set up, ambush Frank because they've worked out he's following them, and try to kill him before he kills all of them. So we are deployed and good to go. A sort of half circle here of the survivors lined up. This is where they make their stand against Frank. Frank is going first because he's a single unit, so he has the least number, so he gets to activate, but then he has to weather the storm of all the bullets. And will he? I don't know. If they get super lucky with the rolls, it's possible this will be a one-sided thing in a different direction, but either way, battle round 1, Frank going first. So Frank moved up, and he moves yellow in his first form, although I did forget to mention there's one more special rule, just again to try and give the survivors a chance, because I think they need all the help that they can get. If he's in melee combat with someone and someone else shoots in, they don't need to roll to see if it hits Frank or not, but they won't have the extra chance to hit, because usually if you're shooting into combat that's happening, it's easier to shoot at them, but then you have to randomize who the damage is done to. It's not going to be any easier to shoot at, but it also will guarantee hit Frank as long as the skill check is met. So anyway, he's going to fire his plasma gun, and he's going to fire it at Pennyworth here. He is just outside of red short range, so he's getting just a black die, but he only needs 8 or less to land the hit, and then it goes against, assuming it hits, 8 or less, so yeah, for 1 extra damage. It goes against whatever is worse out of physical or energy armor, although for Codsworth... Oh no, it does matter. he has less energy armor, so he's got armor of 2. He blocked one of it, so he blocked that bonus damage, and default damage from it is 3. So 3 of his 6 health, Pennyworth rather, is on half health. So the newly freed tech activated next, although I did forget to mention, because Frank landed a hit, he has generated 1 crit point. Anyway, he moved up and he's going to use his combat shotgun at point blank on Frank. He's within range red again, so that is skill die plus 2 black die, so potentially good damage here, which is just as well because of Frank's armor. He needs a 3 or less though. Oh wait, no, if he's a free tech, does his perception go up or is it just his endurance? Just his endurance, yeah. 3 or less. Here we go. That is an instant fail, which is a great shame because it would have did 2 extra damage. It would have been 4 damage you had to block, but he missed. The sole survivor loner, the one having this Halloween nightmare, is going to activate, and he's going to stay where he is and fire his hunting rifle twice because he's within range blue, which is short range, which means he gets 2 yellow dice, and that's got a good chance of rolling armor breaks, which is going to be needed to actually hurt Frank. So 2 shots, needing 5s or less. First shot, 5 or less. Nope, not a good start. Second shot, 5 or less. That's an instant fail. Frank is going to devour your soul. Well, out of bravery or stupidity, Dogmeat is charging into combat with Frank, so it's the standard dog bite special plus a extra black die thrown in for the charge bonus to try and do that little bit of extra damage, and it is a 6. That is a success with a quick action with 1 armor break, 1 extra damage. Do the bottle caps do anything on the bite? They would have cancelled Overwatch, but he's not Overwatch, so that's fine. So Frank is reduced to 5 armor. And again, this die only goes up to 4, so he can still fully block the damage because there's 3 damage coming in total with that thrown in. And he did. He blocked all the damage. So with the quick action, Dogmeat can just do a prepare, which doesn't matter too much, but that's what he'll do. The Settler activated and move forwards for her first action so that Frank would be within short range, because that way that is a green and a yellow, hoping for those armor breaks and or easier chance to hit. And I believe she's a 6 or less, or maybe it's a 7. Let's see if it matters. No, it becomes a 6 either way. No extra bonuses though, so it's just straight up against Frank's armor. And I left the armor die over here, annoyingly. 2 damage coming in. Frank blocks 4 of it and takes no damage. Well, it was the Scavenger's turn next, although the Settler did need a 6 or less, just to be clear. So the Scavenger moved out from behind cover. He's firing at Frank with his bow action pipe rifle, short range. So it's a yellow and a black die on a skill check of a, unfortunately, 3 or less. And he actually did it. It came down to 0. So it hit. Does Frank block it? This is 1 damage. Is there even a blank on this? I don't think there's a blank on this, so Frank literally couldn't be hurt by that. So, well, there you go. Just Pennyworth to go now. Pennyworth valiantly charged in to help out Dogmeat a little bit. So he's using his Mr. Handy Buzzsaw, which is just a yellow die plus a skill die, throwing in a green for the charge bonus. Oh, and he's outnumbered now. So that's 2 green dice. Further leading to chances to hit and armor breaks, which are very important. So Pennyworth needs a 6. And he got it with a quick action, plus an armor break. I don't think it does anything on special symbols. No. Okay. So Frank is reduced again to 5 armor, so he can still fully block the 2 damage this does. Oh, if it had rolled the 1, it would have done 1 damage. But no, he blocked 4. With a quick action, what can Mr. Handy do? Nothing, it seems. I don't think he can use them. Nope, Pennyworth is done. That takes us to the end of Battle Round 1 as well, with no one being able to damage Frank. But as we go into Battle Round 2, we get a little bit of sniper support. So Battle Round 2 gets started, and Frank is technically getting first activation between him and the survivors, but at the top of each round from now on, instead of an event card, the event is the courier, who I guess was hunting Frank, decides to take a shot with his anti-material rifle to try and help out the beleaguered survivors. So it's just outside of range black, which is good for the anti-material rifle because you throw in a bunch of dice and it's double black maximum range. So a lot of dice. He's only getting to fire once though, 6 or less. And he got a 6 on the dot, but it would have came down by another 4. 1 extra damage, so that's 4 damage coming in, and it automatically breaks 1 armor. But that still doesn't matter because you need to break at least 2 for it to make a difference to Frank. So he blocks 3 of it, and it was 4 damage coming in, so the courier has managed to wound Frank for 1 damage of his 6, I think, in his first form. But unfortunately he has a rule called Enrage, so if he gets damage he can choose to add either a black die or a yellow die to his next attack. So Frank is cracking out that knife, although it's more like a built-in wrist sword if you ask me, which is rolling a lot of dice, the skill die obviously, and then the yellow, green, blue, and then he's taking that black die as a bonus for the 1 damage the courier just dealt to him, and he's going to hit Dogmeat. Although actually no, because Dogmeat can't use the prepare to attack, he can only charge or move. So he might as well hit Mr. Handy, by which I mean Pennyworth, because if he kills him, that's 1 less person getting a turn against him, and he does only have 3 health left. So 8s or less, first hit with the blade, and that's already an 8 or less, becomes a 5. Does it do anything on bottle caps? Yes, it stuns. I don't know if Mr. Handy's are immune to stun, but either way, let's see if it will matter, because that's double armor break as well. The knife goes against physical only, so Pennyworth has 1 armor, which he didn't block, and the default damage it does is 3, plus I think it was doing an extra one, I can't remember what that was now, but it doesn't matter because that's 3 more damage. Pennyworth is down. Frank has claimed his first victim. He still has another attack, which is the same roll again against Dogmeat minus the black die. 8 or less. He failed it, which is just as well because that would have been bad. Well, Dogmeat's going to activate first for the survivors, and he's going to try his best. Everyone else has 1 super armor from the survivor rule. Pennyworth doesn't because robots don't have that because they're not survivors. Standard dog bite, just going after Frank. 6s. That's a 7, but it becomes a 6. 5-4 actually. Double bottle cap, it would have cancelled prepares, doesn't matter. Frank's got full armor. If he rolls a 1, he'll take 1 damage. So close, he fully blocked it. And another bite is an instant fail. No. A barrage of fire is coming for Frank as we go down the line here. We're going to start with the enslaved tech, free tech. Again, short range, so double black dice, but he needs a 3 or less, unfortunately, which is the negative here. Got a 6. Shoot again. 3 or less. That's an 8. This is not good. Well, next down the line is the settler using the bolt action pipe rifle. All the bullets are just like pinging off of his enclave power armor. 2 short range shots, yellow, green, and she's a good shot, 6s. First one does get through with 1 extra damage, so Frank has to block 3 damage. If he rolls a 2 or a 1, he'll take something. He rolled a 2, so he did actually take 1 damage, which also gives him the enraged buff again. So he'll have either a yellow or a black die on his next attack. But that is 1 more damage, which you can put on right now. Just pop that up there. And then she gets to fire again. 6s or less. That would be a 10. That comes down to a 9, so that's a no. And the sole survivor, short range with the hunting rifle because he wants those armor breaks. They do have a double armor break. If he rolled both of them and broke 4 of his armor, that'd be fantastic. 7s? No, 5s. Oops. I'll roll that in the box. That was a cog, so it has hit. 1 extra damage, 1 armor break. The 1 armor break doesn't really matter, so that is 3 damage, of which he blocked 2, so 1 more damage. I think first form Frank is now at half health, amazingly. And next shot. That is a success with an armor break again, but the armor break doesn't really matter. He was blocking 2 damage, and Frank did block all of it. But is he on half health? No, he has 5 health in his first form, so he only has 2 health left. So the scavenger was the last activation, and he decided to charge in because the 1 damage pipe pistol just isn't good enough against Frank's armor. So pipe wrench rather, is just a yellow. Black die is a charge bonus, and green die is because of being outnumbered, because Dogmeat's still in combat with him. And the scavenger is better in close combat anyway. He needs a 4. That is an 8 that comes down to a 7, so that would be an absolute nope. We're at the end of the round. We're going into battle round 3. So top of battle round 3, so that means the courier up there is going to take his 1 shot, although I forgot to mention Frank did generate 1 more crit point for landing that hit that killed Pennyworth. This is the anti-material shot, same as last time, and needing 6s. He got a 6 on the dot, double armor break, that puts Frank at 4 armor, and it would have came down to a 4. Frank blocks 2 of it, so that means he did in fact take 1 more damage. I don't know if the enraged buff he gets stacks. I guess I'm not sure if the card clarifies, but I guess we'll see because it's his turn now. So Frank's card just says when damaged, get a black die or yellow die must be used on next attack. It doesn't say they don't stack, so he's cracking out that knife. There's an extra black die in there and an extra yellow die in there because of him taking damage since his last turn. He's got 1 hit left on his current stat card, and he's going to go after the scavenger because he has less HP than Dogmeat to try and just murderize him. So he needs 8 with his first attack. That's a 10 that comes down to a 9. So he did barely miss him. So then we lose a yellow and a black die. And he does it again. Oh, did the double bottle caps do anything? Yes, that is a stun. Stun is just 1 less action, I believe. So that's a definite hit. Then Mushroom Cloud breaks his arm. So the scavenger's got a broken arm and is -2 to skill checks. 1 less armor. And he has 1 physical armor. Sorry, 2, so he's down to 1. And he didn't block anything. So he took... Well, he would take 3 damage, but he has 1 super armor, which is now gone, so he took 2 armor and is on half health. That could have gone a lot worse. Now, hang on, actually, after the first hit missed. That hit landed, so Frank is up to 3 crit tokens. So if he needs 3 crit tokens to crit with the knife, 4 to crit with his gun. Oh, and I have just realised, unfortunately, at the top of turn 3, that Frank is strength 8, so he should have been getting that extra die thrown into his melee attacks as well. That'll be done going forward, but yeah, totally forgot. So after shaking the stun and now nursing a broken arm, the scavenger's going to go because I think it'd be quite sweet if he took out the last hit of the current form of Frank. Now, the way legendary units work when you flip them to a new card, assuming you bought a new card for the list you're using, they still count as having activated. For the purposes of this though, he's changing into a new miniature technically, so we're going to give him another turn just because it's funner. Either way though, Pipe Wrench plus the outnumbered bonus, however, with his broken arm, he now needs a 2 or less. That would be a 5. -3, it comes down to 2. He did actually land a hit, but Frank can block all 2 damage if he wants. He didn't. He only blocked 1 of it, which means he took 1 damage, which means Frank Form 1 is actually down. So let's see what happens when that changes. So the scavenger got his revenge and took out the last of Frank Horrigan 1's 5 HP. So now he becomes Frank Horrigan 2. He has 4 armor, so armor breaks are more important now. He has 6 health. He has Boom. When first activated, gain 2 crit tokens, which he will now do because he's about to activate because he's become a new miniature for the purposes of this special video. He's Fervid, so he's resistant to all conditions, and he can choose to impair someone by subtracting damage and doing a guaranteed break instead. Alright, well that's what he's doing, and he's activating right now. So Frank Horrigan, Super Saiyan level 2, when he first activates, immediately gets 2 crit tokens. Just subtracted an additional 1, he's going to crit with his knife, and he's going to go after Dogmeat just because it seems like a bit of a waste going after the scavenger with it. So these are the dice. For the crit, you throw in an extra blue. He's strength 10 now instead of strength 8, so there's the extra black die for that. And his skill stays at an 8. And that's a 10 that comes down to a 9, so it actually failed. So I don't think the bottle caps apply because that would have done... I think it does damage to everyone within orange range on a crit, but either way he missed. So I guess now we'll just do a normal swing, so we lose the blue. What do we keep? We keep the green, yellow, blue, and he has the black for the strength. And he'll hit the scavenger with his other action. That's an instant fail. That's very lucky. He's too angry to see straight. 2 dog bite specials coming in with an extra green die because of Frank being outnumbered. 6s. That would be a 10. That's nothing. That's a whole lot of nothing. Dogmeat again. An 8 comes down to a 7. Not good enough. Dogmeat does nothing. We start down the line again with the combat shotgun going first. 2 black dice, sadly needing 3s or less. Nope, that's an 8 with nothing on the black dice either. Good grief. 3s or less. That counts. Oh, 2 extra damage on a crit. Sadly he doesn't generate crits, but still. So that means there is 4 physical damage coming in at Frank. And he has 4 armor. He blocked all of it. I have faith in the settler. She did good work last time. Close range, bolt action pipe pistol, and it is 6s. A 7, it comes down by 3 with double armor break, so Frank has 2 armor. and he blocked one of it. So that is only, yeah, he takes 1 damage. I forgot to clear the damage after he changed forms, because he does fully heal. So he's back to 1 whole damage. He doesn't have the enrage rule on this form, so he doesn't get anything out of that. And then the other shot is a 7 down to a 5 nothing, so it's just a full 4 armor for Frank. He blocks all that damage. Now it's the sole survivor Loner's turn. Again, close range with the hunting rifle. Still want those armor breaks, especially now he's at 4 armor, not 6. And we're needing 5s. First shot, success with a quick action. Straight up just 2 damage against Frank's armor, which he blocks all of. Second shot, can we use that quick action for anything important? Not when there's 1 enemy. And that is a hit with a double armor break, so Frank's down to 2 armor. He blocked 1, so he took 1 more damage, so we'll take that away. And put that 2 there instead. And, oh, I think that's it, isn't it? Yeah, because everyone else is dead, so that's the end of battle round 3. We go into battle round 4. Top of turn 4, the courier wants blood. 1 single shot with the anti-material rifle, 6s. That's a 10. That comes down by 4 to 6. With a double armor break, Frank's reduced to 2 armor. He does block 2 damage, but the anti-material rifle... Oh, I keep forgetting it has 1 armor break by default, so I actually broke 3 armor, leaving Frank on 1, so he blocked none. So he actually took 3 damage there. That puts him at 5 of his 6. That was really good. Well, Frank is understandably a little miffed, so he's going to crack out his knife with his extra die thrown in for strength, and he's going after the scavenger, needing 8 or less. That is a success plus a quick action. What can he quick action? He can quick action attack. That's not good. And he's done 1 extra damage, and it's against no armor break though. His default damage is 3, so it's got 4 damage coming in. Even if the scavenger fully blocks this, he will die. Because he's got 2 armor, and he didn't. Scavenger splatted into the pavement, and just smushed into the ground. That also gives him a crit point, which he can immediately spend to crit with the knife. So rolling the same again, apologies for the siren outside, you've heard what Frank did to that scavenger, but also throwing in an extra blue, and, no, where is the extra blue? I put it away, we'll just have to re-roll the same one. And this is a quick action on... No, actually no, there's no point using a crit on a quick action. This is just a basic attack then, because he can use quick actions to attack. With -2 skill, so this is on a 6. And that's an 8, which comes down to a 6. Plus stars, do stars do anything? Broken leg, that's probably not going to matter, but Dogmeat has a broken leg, lost 1 armor too. He's still got the super armor because he hasn't actually been hit yet, so he's at 1 plus 1. So it's just the plus 1. So that blocks the bonus damage. Dogmeat takes 3. And then Frank still has another actual action because that was a quick action. And he could crit. So these dice plus an extra blue, he'll crit. But he insta-failed, so it actually doesn't matter what the other blue dice would have been. Okay. That dog has those bites, and he's still in combat. He's survived quite long. 6s. That is a 9 that comes down to 8, 7, 6. He did actually hit. Does the star do anything? He gives him a quick action, but it doesn't really matter. Frank's got 4 armor. Whoops, I rolled the dice way too far away. He did block 1, which means he took 1 damage. And that means he is actually out of stage 2 and down. So he transforms to stage 3, which I guess we'll quickly look at. But Dogmeat still has another attack. So phase 3, what happens here? Unyielding, he's immune, volatile. His close combat attacks gain extra black and yellow dice. He becomes unpredictable, so he can get quick actions on activation. But he only has 4 health and 3 armor, so he is killable, as I get multiple text messages. So let me check those before we reroll Dogmeat's other attack. So it's actually been a little while since the last clip, but if I remember rightly, Frank just became his final form, and Dogmeat still has another turn left. Or another bite left, which is why I left these here, I hope, because it has been a little while. So, also apologies for, I think there's a leaf blower outside. Let's see, 6 or less on Dogmeat's other bite. That is indeed a bite with a broken arm, which I believe he is immune to. Yeah, he's immune to all conditions, so it does nothing to Frank. He does have 3 armor in this form. He blocked 1 of it, so he's taking 1 from that dog bite. But because he has changed forms, we're running the rule that he gets a turn now. So first things first, for Frank Horrigan Tier 3, we roll a die, for VATS basically, and it needed to be a bottle. It does have a bottle on it, so I guess he has a quick action. And then for his attacks now, for every single one of them, he's rolling that. With his close combat, that is. So we'll do the quick action first. So this is a... Oh, his melee skill gets much worse in tier 3. It's down to agility 3. It's on his agility for some reason. Oh, okay, so he needs a 3. That's down to a 1 on this first quick action, which is an absolute nope. So now he gets his 2 basic attacks, needing 3 or less. That's a 6, becomes a 5-4, not good enough. I wonder why, because I guess it's just to show he's fighting on his last legs. 3 or less? Oh, actually there should have been an extra black die in here as well because of his strength, which I forgot. Is it going to matter? Absolutely it does. That was a crit right there. So, what has he done with all this? He's stunned Dogmeat, he's broken all his armor, he's doing 1 extra damage, and that's it. So the total damage coming through it would be 4. Dogmeat has no armor, and Dogmeat is down. Like that. So he generated 1 crit point for landing a hit there, and also because he got the crit result on the die, so he's back up to 2. I believe you can do that in the 1 attack. So, going down the line again, the free tech, needing a... what was it again? 3. That's an insta-fail. Second attack. That is a success with 1 extra damage. He can't really do anything with his quick action. Straight up against his 3 armor. He blocked 1 of it, so 2 damage got through. Frank is feeling the pain. That is 3 damage on Frank, and in his final form he has 4 HP, he's got 1 left. The Settler could be the one to finish it. So the Settler is rolling close combat, or close range, sorry, with the bolt action pipe rifle. 1 damage needs to get through his 3 armor, and then it is done. She needs 6s, first shot. That is a success with 1 extra damage, so she's got 3 damage coming in against his 3 armor. He blocked 1 of it, 2 damage goes through. Frank, I'm sorry to say, buddy, but I guess that rifle shot pierced the boot of his armor. It hit him in his toe, and that just like splattered him. He spun around, he fell over, and died. So these happy few are the ones who managed to survive the nightmare against Frank Horrigan, with no small part in thanks to the anti-material rifle of the Courier, who I think did 4 damage across 2 forms. Definitely helped that initial form with the 6 damage. There is no permanence here. This was just a silly for fun Halloween video. I honestly thought Frank was going to win with ease, and I think he would have if I hadn't at the last second decided, oh, let's just fit the Courier in somehow. So the nightmare became, well, I was going to say not a nightmare, but he lost his robot, his faithful companion, and also scavenger. So maybe it is still a nightmare. Either way, the sole survivor is going to wake up. They're going to carry on travelling back with their free tech from the super mutant encampment they saved him from, and off to their next adventure, which is whatever you are voting for in the video that preceded this one. So I will see you next time for the next actual adventure. Happy Halloween, even though it's a little belated, and until next time, ta-ta for now.